So there is a new Lethal Weapon TV series that Fox has acquired that's going to be making its way to the network at some point. I would think maybe next year, give or take. And it's interesting that this has come about. I'm just amazed at like how some of these hit 80 sitcoms and movie franchises and stuff from the 90s, I'm just a little bit amazed how we got like all these things that's making a comeback and all that. And I want to talk a little bit more about that next week. But for now, those of you that are very familiar with the Lethal Weapon series, I would love to just get you guys' thoughts on this. Like, there is going to be a Lethal Weapon TV series, and from what I was able to gather about the plot of the series, basically it's going to follow Riggs as portrayed by Mel Gibson. Basically it follows him after he's lost his wife and his baby. He's definitely dealing with loss / I won't say abandonment because that's too strong of a word, but he's definitely got a lot of fucked up things going on top of being a former Navy SEAL. And then you've got the Murtaugh character, or hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I always call it the Danny Glover character. I just couldn't help but kind of kick back and go, who the fuck could be these guys if the TV series comes about? And so I was kicking back and I was like, well, let me try to come up with some names. And one of the names that I had came up with, I looked at Riggs first. Some of you guys may disagree with some of these names, but I think I'm on the right track with some of these names. Now, granted, these names that I'm about to mention, they already have their respected TV series. Now, it's not known right now if they're going to be embarking on a second season, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I'm looking at, for the role of Riggs now, Don Johnson from CSI New York, Gary Sinise. From CSI NYPD Blue fame, David Caruso. This next actor, he probably would not do it because it's a TV role, and quite honestly, they probably wouldn't be able to afford him as far as his salary goes. Okay. But I'm looking at Chris Hemsworth. Like, if they want to go for like a young, hot-headed type of guy, I think he has that look now. I think he would be perfect. From Dukes of Hazzard and the Haves and the Have-Nots, John Schneider. Yeah, John Schneider. I think he'd be a really good pick. He looks pretty damn good. He's 55 years of age. I mean, he looks really good. He's aged very well. I think he'd be pretty perfect. That's my list so far for the role of Riggs. Now, for Danny Glover's character, my list is kind of short right now. I'm looking at Andre Braugher, but then he's got that Fox sitcom, what is it, Brooklyn 911 or 999, whatever the fuck that thing is with the SNL alumni dude. He's got that going on. Unless it gets canceled, that's like the only way I could see Andre Braugher like even taking on that role. Another person that I was thinking of, if they wanted to kind of go the comedy level, that's the thing. All of us can be in agreement. When it came to those first two Lethal Weapon movies, pretty damn dark, pretty fucking serious. Couple of light jokes here and there, but it was mostly serious. But then when you went on past two, it started to get really comical and all that. It started to get really lighthearted. You know what I'm saying? Just downright balls out fucking funny, stupid. But if they wanted to kind of go the comedy route, maybe kind of serious, I don't know if he could pull it off, but maybe Martin Lawrence, like especially if they were to try to tap into the whole bad boy character, I could see them maybe going that route. I think he'd be a good honorable mention. I'm really caught up on Andre Braugher, though. I think I'm really on to something right there. Somebody else I was thinking about was Mos Def. Mos Def. And I know some of you guys are kind of like, Mos Def? Remember the movie? And if you didn't see this movie, I would highly encourage you to check it out. There's two in particular I want you to check out, and this will give you a good taste of his range as a drama actor. There's one movie that he did with Bruce Willis. It was called 16 Blocks. You guys will fucking enjoy the hell out of that one. And then there was one called The Woodsman. He starred in that movie with Kevin Bacon. That's the movie where Kevin Bacon, he just got out of jail. He spent several years in jail for being a pedophile or whatever. He did register as a sex offender and all that in the movie. And Mos Def basically plays his parole officer. And Mos Def was just, the way he approached that role, I thought it was fucking on point. I really, really had enjoyed his performance in that one. I mean, it was a minor role, but it was enough to really make you walk away if you're a Mos Def fan and say, damn, he really brought it when it came to that role. So I'm kind of looking at him for the role as well. But my list for the Danny Glover character, it's very, very, very short. I also had put Forrest Whitaker on there. I know at one point there was a CSI show that he did have. I can't remember the name of it, but I remember it, like, the ratings wise got canned after I think like 8 episodes. So, you know, if he's still kind of interested in doing the whole TV thing again, you know, I think he'd be a good one, Forrest Whitaker. Lawrence Fishburne, he was another one, but he's been having such a good time over there on the NBC Hannibal series. I don't think Fox would be able to lure him away. So, you know, I don't know. And Razor brings up a very good point. He thinks that they're going to do a younger actor for Riggs if his character will be in his 30s. And then maybe like a late 20s Riggs. I don't know. I think you're onto something. I definitely think you're onto something. But they definitely got to make sure that with the Danny Glover character, it's got to be that seasoned actor. I'm still picturing that seasoned actor, somebody like in their 40s, maybe their 50s, that's kind of being like, not necessarily a father, but more like an older brother to Riggs. They definitely need to maintain that, because that's what really made the Mel Gibson Danny Glover character, even though those guys were like relatively, I think they were kind of like in the same age range, because as a matter of fact, let me actually pull up their ages right now and we'll kind of have a better idea on how young they were when they did Lethal Weapon together. So I'm looking at Mel Gibson right now. Mel Gibson is 59 years of age. Danny Glover's, he's 10 years older than the dude. He's 69. So when Lethal Weapon had came about, my God. So that means Mel Gibson was probably in his, let me see, 2005, 95, 85. So Mel Gibson was like, what, in his 20s, mid-late 20s? And Danny Glover would have been in his 30s? Mid-late 30s? That sounds about right. That actually sounds about right. So I can't wait to see how this series does, man. I can't wait. I hope Fox does not fuck it up. Look forward to seeing what they do.